Hello, my name is Stuart Tucker, and this is a meditation for Cinco de Mayo, the 5th of May, 2020. Yesterday, I was reflecting on my own meditation yesterday morning, which told the story of Louis Zamperini, who was the topic of the movie Unbroken. He suffered horribly at the hands of a Japanese prison guard. He suffered after the war, World War II, that is, with horrible post-traumatic stress, became an alcoholic, very self-destructive. The experience ruined his life until he received Jesus at a Billy Graham rally and was able to forgive his captor. Got me thinking about forgiveness, and got me thinking about Barbara. Barbara was my parishioner when I was pastor of Efland United Methodist Church in Efland, North Carolina. It was my first church where I was the pastor in charge. It being North Carolina, we had a revival there. We had a guest preacher come in and preach to us several nights in a row. Barbara came to me after the revival was over with tears in her eyes, told me of a conversation she had with the revival preacher. She told him a story that in the several years that I was her pastor, I was unaware of. Her daughter had been killed in a drunk driver accident, her only child. Perpetrator was up for parole, and it brought back all the pain, all the grief. And she said, I try to be a good Christian. I know I'm supposed to forgive, but I can't make myself forgive this man. And she told this to the revival preacher, and the revival preacher said, you must forgive, you must forgive. You know, it will poison your soul, it will tear you apart until you forgive. Well, this is quite a shock, quite a revelation. This woman had been part of my congregation, sitting in the pews, listening to my sermons, and I wondered what the impact of some of what I had said over those years had upon her. Had I been like this revival preacher scolding, you must forgive? I, who have a hard time forgiving relatively trivial things. Easy to say you must forgive if you've never had a burden like that. You've had an open wound and had to carry that for years. You must forgive. Do we preachers unknowingly sometimes add to the unbearable burdens that some people carry with them? You know, what do I say to Barbara now? And the words just came to me. Barbara, you're right. You can't forgive. How can somebody forgive, losing their only child to an irresponsible drunk driver? No, you can't forgive. If it comes down to a matter of just force of will, what you can do, however, is to pray to God to grant you the miracle of being able to forgive, because that's what that would be. And in the meantime, not beat yourself up for not being able to walk on water or fly or forgive something that's unforgivable. Because we believe in a God that performs miracles, do we not? So, all right. You can't forgive him today. But you don't know, maybe later today, maybe this afternoon, if you continue to pray, if you continue to walk with God, and not unnecessarily beat yourself up all the time because you can't perform a miracle, maybe that's how you can face this situation, this unbearable burden that you carry with you. Can't forgive today. Because we have a God who loves us, who forgives us our sins, and knows how weak and how dependent we are upon him. Martin Luther had a phrase, sin boldly. And by that he didn't mean just, party it up. He meant that God knows how feeble we are and forgives our sins and just gives us enough to make it through today. Well, that is my meditation for today, 5th May 2020. Goodbye, and God bless you all.